Well, hello, freedom seekers. Give you a short briefing about increasing the options and choices that you have in life and how sex can be instrumental in helping you to do that. You see, so often we find ourselves entrenched and like we don't have a choice. 35 years ago, I just had this desire and this dream to be able to have my own home. And so I created an obligation for myself. And that obligation then was to live in a home where I had to then every month pay a mortgage. And that went on for month after month. And so there I was trapped in my mortgage. But not only trapped in my mortgage, I was trapped in my location in Seattle. And how often do we also find ourselves trapped in the jobs that we have, where we don't feel like we have any choice? And of course, then our relationships are the same way. And that's where 13 years ago, I started to realize that, that I limited my own choices by having a monogamous marriage. And possibly that I ought to open up my choices and see about having an open relationship with my wife. And so I talked to her about that. And that actually happened about 15 years ago. And so then 13 years ago, we did exactly that. We opened our marriage. And that one incident in my life of opening my marriage started to open my options and help me to realize that it was really my own limitations and obligations that I created for myself. And those limitations and obligations made it so that I start to feel like I had no choice. I had no choice to do, but except for the things that I was doing. I was locked in 3 years ago, and I realized the reason what was causing me not to have the freedom I wanted in my life is that mortgage every month in that house that I had to live in. And of course, I can't just like a suitcase pack up my house and fly off somewhere and take it with me. And so I had really no choice but to live where I lived and to do work that I was doing and pay the bills that I was paying. And so maybe you find yourself in that same place. But yes, 13 years ago, I opened my marriage, and that gave me more choices in my sex life, and that gave me more choices in my relationships. And it started to help me to open up my thought processes, give me more choices mentally, realizing that, wait a minute, I chose this, and that means that I can unchoose it as well. And I realized that what is it that I need in my life? What is it that I use in my life? And I started to realize then that I was increasing my choice by having less stuff. And so maybe you'll realize some of these things as well, and can utilize your sexual choices. Your sex life is a powerful transformative force in your life, and you can utilize the choices that you make sexually to realize that, wait a minute, maybe if I have more choices sexually, I can have more choices with my health care. I can have more choices with my finances, and I can have more choices with my relationships. And so this starts to transform your life so that you have more choices instead of less choices.